bypassed. Hi guys, I'm Steex, audio video production. Today I'm gonna show you how I used the Rabbit Tape plugin. It's a new plugin by Safari Pedals. In my last project is basically a rockish style sound, and I used this Rabbit Tape both for guitars, and I want to show you how, because it's really interesting, different kind of usage of this tape plugin. And of course I used this Rabbit Tape also on mastering. So let's jump into my Studio One section. Let me adjust my trusty headphones. Okay, so this is the plugin. The looking is really cool, but of course the most important thing is the sound. As you can see, it's really simple. You have two different view meters. You have the bypass knob as always, auto gain, this is really useful, oversampling because this is of course a saturator, input, output, the grit, which is basically the amount of saturation that you want to listen. And it's not only saturation, but it's also some 𝙬𝙚ness depending on the algorithm you choose, because you can choose between cassette and reel-to-reel, so a normal tape machine or cassette. And the grit will sound differently because you will listen some difference in saturation and in a 𝙬𝙚ness that you can listen. The wow effect is basically the movement of the tape and also the flutter with the movement of the tape. So these two, wow and flutter, are really extreme. So pay attention how to use it because we'll create a really strange effect. And really cool thing is this blend knob. So it's really uncommon to have blend knob in tape machining because you have to pay attention. When you use the blend knob, basically you are blending your clean signal with your affected signal. And if you use the wow effect in the affected signal, well, basically you are creating pitch shift, and you will create also some phase problem, phase issue. But if you want to use that for creativity, it's up to you, and this is what I used on my guitar. Of course, in the manual is also written to avoid this because you will create some phase issue. But if you want to use this in creative mode, you can do that. And of course, here you have the width to wide, of course, the effect. So let's listen the overall sound of my music, and then I'll show you how I use this plugin. So from the beginning, I've used here in this clean channel. It's loading. Okay, etc, etc. So I've used here in this reamp clean track, you can listen this guitar. Without the rabbit, which is here, as you can see, let me bypass it. It's more in middle. I wanna show you without the reverb because it will confuse too much you to understand how it works. Even if I can listen because I know how it should work. Now with the Rabbit Tape, bypassed in the middle. So as you can listen, there is this sort of lo-fi effect because you can listen the 𝙬𝙚ness of the tape. I can show you more. Of course, I'm blending here because otherwise you can listen really too much. This wow effect, as you can listen, is going also from the right to the left of your ear. This is in the middle with the wow. And of course, blending, you can create a chorus effect because there is this phase issue. With the width, you can move it to large, bypassed. Wow, I really like it. And you can also change, for example, the algorithm. This was with the cassette. Reel. Okay, with the cassette there is it's cleaner, in my opinion, the cassette. Let's listen. Yes. Bypassed. Yeah, I really like the sound of the cassette in this kind of source sound, so with this electric guitar. Okay, this is how I used this in my electric guitar. So basically to bring the clean sound alive with more stereophonic effect and this sort of chorus and this sort of lo-fi in the background. With the reverb, basically it would sound like this. Without. It's too much in the middle, it's too boring. I like much more this kind of effect. Then, how I use this in mastering. In my opinion, in mastering is fantastic because it is really useful when you want to tame a bit the transients. If you have some transient, for example, for the tom, I usually use a lot of compression. And in this way, you can emphasize the transient. But sometimes it's too much that they will not stay in the mix, basically. So I've used this for the first plugin in my mastering chain. So let's see it. Here it is. Let me enlarge it. So as you can see, what I used here, oversampling, because I use this mainly for saturator, no any wow effect, no any flutter effect. I've used here the reel to reel and just a bit of grit to get more creamy sound and to tame basically all the clicky sound. Let me show you without all the FX chain, only the rabbit tape. Maybe here on the part with some more aggressive sound. Bypassed. Bypassed. It's fuller, the sound. With this width effect, basically you can get the wall of sound of the guitar, so I can really get more image sound. Pay attention that here I'm using the blending because otherwise it's very too much with this kind of effect, widthness, and also with this kind of grit. I want to show you on the drum. Bypassed. See basically here the meter. With the rabbit tape, it's much more controlled. So look at this, the tone effect. You can see here I'm going to -6, without I'm going over, -5, So I'm controlling the peak basically with the saturation of the rabbit tape, and at the same time it's gluing basically all my mix, and also it's enlarging the image effect. So let me show you on the mix again. Bypassed. Bypassed. So I think it's a really great plugin that you can use on mastering, you can use also on mixing, on different kind of sound sources. That's why I use this plugin. I hope you enjoyed my video. Subscribe to my channel, let me know what you think about, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.